Hello guys, welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast live. It's me and Paul this week, and we're going to be going through everything West Ham related and any news that we like to cover through sports. If you've got any questions throughout the show, put them in the live chat and we'll try our best to answer them. If you've not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like our content, and please share with your friends. Let's get on with it. It's the Free Hammers and it's live.
Good afternoon.
Hello, mate. How's it going? We spoke, didn't we, straight after the game on Saturday? You know, really good mood, really optimistic. You know, quite a bit's happened since then, hasn't it? You know, results just when all the results were going for us, when we were losing, all of a sudden they started winning again. How do you feel now, mate? How do you feel now?
It's still in our hands, you know. It's still in our hands. It's the same for me. It's still the same as I thought it was last week, where if we beat Watford, I think that's it. I think if we beat Watford, we'll be all right. So I don't think much has really changed, to be honest. I saw someone posted on these at Mother Brown, a good way of looking at it, a good perspective. If the games were the other way around, so because you know, obviously we won, big win, give us that distance, and then they closed the gap, it makes you put a bit of a downer on it. You're like, that was for nothing. We didn't move. We didn't go anywhere. But if you reverse it, if they'd won before we'd played, and then we get that win, then you'd be looking at it saying, oh, yeah, good. That's a good win. That's give us that gap back. So it's perspective. I think it's still fine. I don't think much has really changed.
No, it was a bit squeaky bummy last night. It was a bit squeaky bum, that Bournemouth Man City game at the end. I was thinking, please don't do this to me. We'll be watching the Everton game straight after this, Everton Aston Villa. I think if Everton win that game, like you say, mate, it's nearly done as well. Then as well, I think a point enough then for us. You know, you'd much rather be in our position than their position at the moment. I think if Villa win tonight, it puts a lot of pressure on tomorrow's game. No?
Yeah, of course it does. I think tomorrow's game is a massive game anyway. And it does. I think it is definitely. I know a lot of people were saying it's more must not lose than a must win game. But for me, it's a must win game. I think if we win that, we can go into the Man United game, sort of pressures off a bit. Do you know what I mean? That if we lose, then yeah,
that's the best word I could say. I think. So last time we played them, guys, seems such a long time ago now. August it was, well back in August. We won 3-1, 2 goals from Sebi Haller on a day. We played them last game of the season last year, actually. Great game with 4-0, I think it was. Mark Noble got a couple. Their last few games, they've been playing okay. They beat Newcastle 2-1, beat Norwich 2-1, and they lost to Chelsea, lost to Southampton. You can't pull us apart at a minute in terms of the table. I'll flash that up for you guys just so it's easier. Me and Paul can both discuss that then. That one. Yeah. So, like I say, you can't pull us apart at a minute. Only goal difference pulls us apart. Obviously, we've got one more win than them. Like I say, mate, I think if we win, that is it. Will be it, I think, as well. It will be it if we win.
Yeah, I mean, 37 points, 6 points in front of Bournemouth, with Bournemouth needing to win their last 2 games.
Yeah,
they
can't catch us.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, because then because of our goal difference, you know, that is basically it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, if we beat Watford, Bournemouth can't catch us. It only depends on if Villa do with their game in hand. So yeah. Massive game. I think we have to go and we have to really go out. Like I say, if we go out and we beat Watford, good chance that we'll be safe. That'll be it.
I'm just going to flash it. So their top goal scorers, I won't flash it up. I'll just read it quickly. So Troy Deeney on 8 goals, Ismail Shah on 6, Robert Pereira's gone off the ball a little bit. Gerard Delafao, Decore, Andre Gray in there, Danny Welbeck. What does anything scare you with them? Is there anything that really scares you? Like I say, I've always liked Troy Deeney. He's a good leader. Loves scoring a goal against us. Got 2 goals the weekend. I know it was 2 penalties, But those 2 goals could spark him up a bit. No.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. He's a player, like you say, he's a player that likes playing against us. After that game where he sort of come out, that was the Paye season, wasn't it, where he come out and sort of said, they were taking the mick. And at half time, they come out and completely turn it around. I think since then, he's loved playing against us. And he's a proper grafter.
He's good leader. Very good leader.
Yeah. He's a sort of player that you want in a relegation fight,
100%, mate. 100%. Anyone else in that team? Like I say, you've got to look at someone like Deulofeu is probably someone you'd like at West Ham potentially. If there was a player you were looking at.
obvious ability there. Great player. Decore, obviously a really really solid sort of box to box. They've got. To be fair, they've got a decent team. They really have. Even the likes of Danny Welbeck. Didn't he score his first goal for them?
Overhead kick the other day. Yep.
So he'll probably score against us.
Yeah.
They've got a decent team.
I'm trying to think. Like I say, I like that Pereira, but he hasn't really done much this year. Like I say, Decore is a fantastic player. I'm just having a look and see if there's anyone I've missed. Really, not really. But I think it's got to come down to one of those. It's got to be one of those games of who wants it more. I think if we turn up the typical stand performance, we'll get turned over easily. But, if we've got that hunger and between our teeth, like the Chelsea game, Norwich game, you can't really judge it because they were awful. They were shockingly bad. Yeah, if Antonio's up for it, full of confidence, any changes? Would you make any changes to winning team?
No. No. I mean, I wouldn't make any changes. They've had a good break. They've had a good rest. I don't.
Not Noble now.
It's a game. It's a weird one. On the one hand, like Watford, they're going to press us. They're going to be on us. And that game doesn't suit Noble at all. But that's sort of like we're talking about battles and fighters with the likes of Deeney. Noble's probably more suited to that. So I think I would keep marking. I think I would keep marking for this one.
Still no Haller starting for you, no?
No, again, I wouldn't change it. I'd bring him on, and I'd probably bring him on early. Well, it depends how the game's going, I suppose. But I don't think I'd start him yet. What about yourself?
Yeah, I suppose, like I say, your obvious one is you could play about with Mark. You change that up. More or less, the others more or less pick themselves. Fabianski picks himself, or Diop himself. Do you want to play about with a fullback? If it was me, maybe Johnson could come in. I don't think he will.
No, I can't see him changing it. And we did say yes. Norwich were terrible. They were terrible. But both the fullbacks had a decent game. You can't really move Antonio from striker after scoring 4 goals. It wouldn't really be fair to do that to him.
Stochek picked himself.
Yeah, exactly. Apart from, unless there's any injuries or anyone's really struggling fitness wise, I don't think he'll change it. I think it'll be the same team. Yeah, I can't see there being any changes, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'd be fine with that.
And how confident are you? I'm not confident.
It's one of them games that's just completely up in the air, isn't it?
It's one of those games that traditionally to slip up, isn't it? Is when it's we have to win this game. We have to get up for this game. We have to be there mentally. We always seem to be second best in those games, unless it's a big club, which is for some reason.
Well, that's it. Mate,
we're probably going to beat Man United.
That's it. I was just going to say, mate, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we lose to Watford and beat Man United. It's just the sort of thing that we do. But I don't know. I couldn't call it. We're so, like, the two teams, Watford and West Ham, we're so tight at the minute, results wise, form, obviously positioning the table. We're both fighting for the same thing. anything could happen, mate. I'd worry that they want it more than us.
I think so. I think, again, on this result tonight, pending on whatever it is, Villa at Everton, I think if Villa win, Watford come out wanting it even more than us. They know that I know we really should be thinking the same way, but I think Nigel Pearson will instill it a bit more. Could I say that? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think so, mate. I think, do you know what? I think you've hit on something there as well. I think absolutely, he's going to be saying to him, listen, go out and beat these boys, bully them, get into them. They don't like it, get into them, bully them. Can you see that coming from Moyes?
He might, the classic, I have to remind them not to score, to let goals in, or whatever he said last week that seemed to work. I'm a bit fearful. I have to say, I'm a little bit fearful. I've watched some other previews from the other channels, and they're really confident. They're predicting 3-1s West Ham's, 2-2s, 2-0 West Ham's. I'd love to see it, and I hope I see it, mate. But no, I think it's going to be a real tense one.
Yeah, I would love to see it as well, but no, I can't. We're not. Again, I really hope we're wrong. I think some people are putting too much stake in that Norwich result. I really do. Yeah, it was a fantastic result. We played well, but you can't take away the fact that Norwich were appalling. Watford will not play the same. We won't get that much time. We won't get that much space. Watford are going to be in our faces. They're going to be pressing. It's going to be a completely different game. It's going to be tough. It'd be a tough game. I hope we come out of it with a win. I do think it's a must-win game. But I do, mate.
I do. Yeah. Don't want it to go down to that Villa game. I really don't. Again, that's another one. If it goes that far, I'll be really, really not confident at all going into that Villa game. I wouldn't be. Just going to touch in the chat here. Richie says, hi Richie, mate. Isaac says, good morning from New Zealand. Friday, 17th of July, 5 a.m. Well, living in the future,
mate.
If we only need 3 points to start, I'd love to get them at Man United. It would be good, if we're having a romantic story, it's like the Tevez again, and it all over. And it would be typical us. It really, really would. It will disappoint us tomorrow night. We will be like, oh, for God's sake, we ain't staying up. And then it will be bloody party time again, like it was. What is that now? That's a long time ago now, isn't it? Like 13 years ago now, isn't it?
What, the Tevez?
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
2005. 2005, yeah.
5? Hell. No. The FA Cup final was 2006.
No, it was 2007. You're right, mate.
2007, year after the FA Cup final.
It was 2007.
Even that, 13 years. Yeah, that is a bloody long time. I actually
remember. Sorry, mate. Yeah, no, I actually remember watching that game. I was in Spain and I was in Mallorca. Do you remember Uncle Sam's?
Oh yeah, West Ham pub.
Yeah, I was in Uncle Sam's watching that. Yeah.
I watched it in Lord Stanley, and bloody when Tevez goal went in, it was just slow motion beer, just. It's like if anyone's seen X-Men, it was like that, the Quicksilver scene. It's like I can't think what the song is. If I could save time in a bottle. But
I remember as well. After that summer we signed Valon Barami, and I remember in the first games that they showed on telly over there for the next season, one of the lads with us, like as soon as Barami come on the telly, he was like, oh, he's a good looking bastard, isn't he?
I think we signed Colton that year as well. Colton scored on his debut, I think. I think I'm going to go out on a whim here. I think we won that game 4-2. I think Craig Bellamy scored. Colton Cole scored.
That'd be some memory, mate. If that's, accurate.
Definitely Colton Cole came off the bench and scored, and it was like, oh, we've got a new Drogba, which he was.
What, you're going to say something bad about Colton?
Yeah, it's going to be nerve-wracking one, guys. It really, really is. That's all I can say about that. In terms of predictions, I think it's going to be a really hard fought. I'm going to go classic 2-2, I think. It looks like we've got some goals in us now. We look at one. I'll give us credit as well, mate. And I won't take this as this is what Hammers chat were discussing last night. We are fantastic from set pieces now. you've got to say that there are some lads in there. Socek's big lad, dangerous. Connor's great in the air. Diop's great in the air. Rice is a big lad.
Terrible in the air, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's another one. Yeah, it's another one for the defenders to think about.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is been Bowen's delivery.
Yeah.
Has been the game changer.
When he played, it was the Burnley game, wasn't it? He played on left-hand side. Did he play? Yeah, he played on Cresswell's side because he's better on the right. Balls weren't going in as good, were they? Because he obviously he's on that right-hand side. He's fantastic. Like you say, the corners are brilliant. The corners
exactly, the corners, the set pieces from him have been fantastic. The corners in particular, it's good to see because I don't know if you remember, but we would do when we first came back. We were doing that stupid we had like 8 players on the goalkeeper, and it just wasn't working. And now it looks like we've gone away from that, and it seems that it's the same every corner. It's just whip it into the back post, get Souček on it, get Rice on it. And it's working really well for us. So it's good to see.
Fancy Souček for a goal tomorrow, actually. Even if we don't win, I fancy him for a goal. That volley he had against Norwich, like edge of the box, that would have been an absolute crack. That would have. Good player. Tell you what, 14 million, absolute steal if that comes off in the next couple of weeks. Absolute steal. His chat posted that Pickford apparently got injured in the warm-up for Everton. It's great. Because we don't want that. It's okay, Stein. Oh, thanks, Richie. Jesus Christ. Who would have put money on Antonio being top scorer for us at the beginning? I know it's crazy.
Not me, mate.
What is he? He's on 8 now, isn't he? I'd love to see him get to 10. I hope he can in 3 games. I hope he might have 2 goals in him. And I really hope he does because we don't many players that hit 10 goals now. So it'd be good, wouldn't it, if he can get to 10? You not think?
It's ridiculous. I'm not being funny.
It's a joke, mate. It's a joke.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, credit to Antonio. Credit to Antonio. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he's our top goal scorer, and he's scored half his goals in 1 game.
Yeah,
that's a joke. Like we've been so. That just shows how bad we've been. It really does.
But in 1 game, like you say, someone can. Equal to think. I'm just having a look at the top goal scorers here in the Premier League.
On 7. Oh, you mean in the Premier League?
No, in the Premier League, right? Because you know what we're saying about the 10 goals. Right, we very rarely get above 10 goals. So you got Jamie Vardy on 23, Aubameyang, Salah's the big names. Like Danny Ings, 19 goals. Jimenez, Wolves, 17. I'm just going to the no disrespect, smaller clubs. Calvert Lewin, Everton, 13. Richarlison, 12. Even Chris Wood's on 12.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Neil Maupay for Brighton, 9 goals. Gordon Ayew, 9 goals. You know what I mean? It's not good, is it?
No, it's not, mate. And it shows how poor we've been. And we haven't had a proper goal scorer for years. I really hope that you know, I want to see Allaire stay. I don't know if
Who do you think is our 3rd top goal scorer?
Our 3rd top goal scorer?
Yeah. See if you can name them, right? So it's obviously Antonio and Haller are both on 8. See if you can name the next
Snodgrass.
4. Oh, well done. 5 goals, yeah.
One
of them's pretty obvious, purely because of what he does.
And Anderson scored quite a few did he score a few goals at the start of the season?
He's only scored 1 this season, mate. I was there, Bournemouth game.
I'm struggling, mate.
Okay, they're both on 4. These 2 players are both on 4.
Is Mark one of them?
Yeah, Mark is one, yeah.
Penalties.
Oh, no, there's 3 on 4. 3 on 4.
I'm trying. How many has Rice got this year?
Has got apparently none, mate.
Good shout in the comments there from Ogbonna, but he was out for a part of the season.
Right, if you 4 goals.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
And Andrei Yarmolenko 4 goals as well, mate.
Yarmo, I should have thought of Yarmo, yeah, of course.
After that, got Aaron Cresswell with 3. Obviously, couple early on, didn't he? The free kick against Man United. Chelsea got free. A 2, Socek 2, Buena 1, Owen 1, Javier Hernandez 1. It's Brighton. Felipe Anderson 1, Jack Wilshere 1. In the league, surely. And Zabaleta, obviously, in the cup as well. He got a goal, didn't he? That's crazy, isn't it? That's bloody crazy. Why can't many professional players a good corner or free kick? No, mate. They spend all that time, and if surely, any job, I'm sure in your job as well, mate, you see a weakness. That's what I work. I'm not very good at data management, so I'll do some of that. Oh, I'm not good at that, so I'll do that.
It's specialist, isn't it? It's a specialist technique. The players that are really, really good, like taking free kicks, ain't part of day-to-day training for a footballer. It's a specialist technique. If you think of the players that are really, really, really good, they stay after training and they practice and practice and practice.
Barring the worldies, like I'm talking your Messis, your Ronaldos, etc., you wouldn't say they're some of the best free kick takers ever are not necessarily, it's going to sound a bit wrong, but not necessarily the best technical footballer. I don't know. It depends how good you rate someone like David Beckham, for example.
Yeah, but there you go. I think it is practice, isn't it? Because David Beckham used to practice constantly. He used to stay, like you'd hear Ferguson saying it. He'd come in and all he would do is practice hitting free kicks. He'd have a target and a mark, and he would just practice hitting that over and over again. I'm pretty sure Dimitri Payet was the same for us. He would just stay late and he would just practice. But if imagine you're not a club's, if you're not the club's free kick taker, why would you bother? You're just going to.
Yeah, I suppose like you could say that about, like rugby as well, mate. Like, why can't every single player take the try conversion kick? Or
the
NFL, they actually have a specialist guy. Literally, all his job is to do is come on and kick the ball. They just come on and kick the ball. I suppose that would be interesting, wouldn't it? If you could just bring on a guy that's just an amazing free kick taker.
Well, I know there's lots of managers have said that. Imagine if you could just bring somebody on to take a free kick and then take them off again.
Set piece specialist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is Antonio our new Arnie?
No.
He's not. No, listen, Arnie was a top player, great player. To you, Antonio is the new Colton. There you go. He's passionate. He's technically not quite there.
Mate, Colton had better technique than Antonio. Colton scored some nice volleys on the turn and stuff.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is, he's capable of some magic sometimes. Get some absolute world-class performances out of him sometimes. His work rate is just second to none. He's not the new Arnie,
No, I think with Antonio, his work rate is fantastic. He's at the moment, his work rate is phenomenal. He's so powerful and strong. I honestly, genuinely think most of the stuff he does is by luck rather than by him actually knowing what he's doing and trying to do it. I mean, even you look, he's got, again, I don't want to take anything away from Antonio. He's been brilliant and I'm really pleased. He scored 4 goals, but even the likes of the what was it? Was it his second goal where he was through 1-on-1? Or was that
the hat-trick goal? That was the hat-trick goal.
It's through 1-on-1. And he's got to be putting that in. And he hit the keeper. And thankfully it went up in the air and he just headed it in. And you imagine if that had fell to Arnautovic. There's no second chances there.
About.
Do you know what I mean? I love Antonio at the minute. He's doing brilliant for us. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Moyes has converted him into a striker." He hasn't. He hasn't.
And let's not let Sullivan and Gold get away with that either. If we need him as a backup striker, by all means, he's capable. He's done that so long now at West Ham. Let's not take away in the summer if we do stay up. Striking position is still a position we need to be looking at. Your Ollie Watkins or whatever, but whoever we're going to go for. He says, yes, lads. Snazzy says, I'm not sure if you're taking questions away from footy. What's your thoughts with Darrell Miller popping for It's again. I think he's got to finally be banned. Oh yes, I know you're talking about Jarrell Miller, the boxer. Yeah, we are taking questions, guys. If you've got any questions, please put them in. We appreciate them. I think lifetime ban this time. No, you can't. Caught the first time, maybe a mistake. The second time, no. I have some sympathy for him slightly. Heavyweight division is, money maker where all the money is, especially now. That's where the big fights are. Maybe thought, I haven't quite got enough to match someone like Joshua or match someone like Fury, so he's trying to get away with it, get that slight advantage. It should be completely banned now. What about you, mate?
To be honest, I think even if it's not a lifetime ban, the big fights ain't going to touch him now anyway. So it's irrelevant in my opinion. It doesn't really matter. He's not going to get those big fights now. They're not going to touch him. So it's the same difference. Do you know what I mean? Whether he gets a lifetime ban or not, his career's done. So
he's blown it, hasn't he? He's absolutely blown it. That was the call. Do apologise. Everton Villa kicked off still 0-0. Just as he says, come on, Everton. Anything a win is okay, I think, for Villa. I agree. He's a very big boy. I assume that's Antonio. I hope you're not talking about me or Paul. Antonio finishing from any further than 12 yards is very, very poor. One day, one of them ones are going to go in. He cuts inside, whips one from the corner, and I'll come on here and go, his finishing is amazing from 12 yards, from 12 yards further. One day, one of them is going in.
One day, one of them has got to go in at one point, isn't it? He's such a frustrating. Again, how many times we said this? If Antonio had any kind of technique, it'd be unbelievable, and he would be playing for West Ham.
He would be playing for us, and that's exactly it, isn't it? Is there a few things I see on Twitter actually? Is there any change in your opinion of Hammer of the Year? Purely because of this lockdown thing and how sort of Antonio is nearly sort of us out of it himself as well a bit from his goals and things. Is there a late shout for Antonio as Hammer of the Year now?
There's definitely
one. I don't even know they're doing it, are they?
I don't think so, no. There's definitely a shout for it because you could argue that if we stay up, it was his goals that kept us up. So there's definitely a shout for it. For me, I would still give it to Ogbonna because even since the restart, since he's come back in the team, he's settled the defence down, and I think Ogbonna's been our one consistent performer right throughout the season. But there's definitely
him coming back as well, mate. It's been a big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been massive, mate. Balbuena, I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know because last season he looked like an absolute beast. I don't know what's happened to him. Thanks for all the questions, guys. Keep them coming. Is Socek the box-to-box midfielder we've been looking for? He looks a top player, mate. Listen, he slowly become one of my favourite players at the minute. I love the danger. I love like can see. Always wants to score. He's a forward-thinking player as well. Can put a tackle in as well. Just an absolute nuisance, and I love it. We've been missing someone like that since. I don't know, Kyoto, Diarmi, for example. I would say Diarmi, when he was at West Ham, was maybe a little bit better on the ball because Diarmi was like a train, wasn't he, that first year? I really like him, mate. I really like him. Really like him.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with everything you said, mate. He looks absolute still. Hopefully, and it's a big hope, we keep Rice because if we can build a team around Rice and Socek in the middle, we've got a really good base.
There's a spine there, isn't it? It's a spine. Yeah. On that, just on Rice, mate, Antonio's an instinctive player. Rice, a rumour I see this morning, again, it's always Chelsea. They're prepared to offer us Kurt Zouma tomorrow. It's money. Does that interest you at all?
Zouma, not really. Tomorrow's interesting. Tomorrow's interesting.
Well, tomorrow's good player. I don't want it to go. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't call it. If I'm honest, I can't call it. I can't.
If he said this before, if he stays, it'll only be for one more year.
Mm-hmm.
if he stays, it's only for one more year, unless we qualify for the Champions League next year.
Yeah, I really hope he stays one more year, purely because I want him to have a good Euros, and that price just goes massive. And you might then as well, I'm not saying it will, but you might then get your Real Madrid, your Juventus, or someone like that going to sniff at him as well. And that price just gets ramped up. And that's what I want. All I want is West Ham to get the best price for him. That's all I can ask, I think. There's other players we can sell this year to get transfer funds, basically.
Yeah, I think with Rice, it will come down to if he wants to go or not. And I know there's a question there.
Yeah, literally the next question. I'll go into them questions in a minute.
Just that. Do you think Rice will leave even if we stay up?
Where's that one? Yeah.
It depends. It honestly depends. Where does he see his future? Does he want to risk another season at West Ham with the Euros coming? Would he rather go to Chelsea and be competing for trophies next year?
I think with the Chelsea thing, it's playing into that project as well, isn't it? You know, Werner's. Yeah. We've discussed it. You know, if they get Kai Havertz as well, they've got incredibly exciting team there. And I do think he will go there as a centre back as well. I don't think he'll be playing in midfield for them if he goes. I think he'll be centre back. It's like you say, does he want to buy into that dream? And I think he would.
Yeah, I do as well. You know, we've spoken about this before. Rice is a Chelsea fan as a kid. Chance to go and play with his best mate. You know,
he can leave West Ham with his head held high as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. And on the last part, again, we've spoke about this before. Would you blame him? No, not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not at all.
Just do it the right way. You know, if you want to leave, do it the right way. Refuse to play. You know, take your time. Even if the move goes through last day of the transfer window, play no sulky games or anything like that. I don't think he will. He doesn't seem that sort of character at all. He doesn't seem that.
I agree, mate. I don't think he's that kind of bloke. I don't think he would do that. But if he did leave, 100% wish him the best. And again, we've spoke about this before. I think he deserves better than West Ham. He deserves better than what we are at the moment. Under Gold, Sullivan and Brady, under David Moyes.
The thing is, if he leaves on good terms, you know, like Joe Cole did, if he's like, you know, you could probably get an aging Rice back in a few years. You know, when he's 32 or whatever. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, you know, there will always
leave the door open. Yeah, leave the door open.
You know, like when Joey come back, I know Joey was 30, 32, whatever he was. I was buzzing when Joey come back. I was absolutely buzzing. He did do well, actually, when he came back, Joey. Good question. Do you see a way back for Felipe Anderson? The classic Paul line of, I don't think I'll see him playing in a West Ham shirt again.
No, not under David Moyes. Not at
the moment, no. And listen, if we can get anywhere near 30 million for him, why? For me. You know, the term luxury players touted around quite a lot. I believe that is exactly what he is. Luxury player. You know, needs to be playing at that, you know, that Lazio level of team. Lazio are a lot better team than we are. You know, they're not competitive in Serie A anymore, I don't think, are they? They don't sort of flirt with them top.
But they are, mate. Yeah, they're like they're in the running for the title. So they were up until very recently, anyway.
Confirm that, but yeah. Let's see what.
Lazio are third, mate.
Oh yeah, they're not that good. I think he would like to be at a club like that again. I think. And
I think he's another one of those players where I think he'll leave and he'll do well wherever he goes. He probably will go back to Italy.
British fell out of love with it. Fell out of love with West Ham.
I think so. I don't. And again, we spoke about this last week. I don't think he respects Moyes at all. He clearly doesn't want to be playing under him. I don't think he'll play again under him. And unless Moyes goes at the end of the season, which I don't think he will, then his West Ham career is done.
Thomas says, Rice is my hammer of the year. Antonio should all for a conversion in rugby, as it always high and over the post. Have I done this one? You guys think if we keep him, if he can keep himself fit, Antonio will take the Euros next year, considering it's a big squad? Surely he has played for England, hasn't he? Did he play one time?
Did he play? Has he got a cap?
Was he on the bench and didn't come on?
I don't think he's got a cap.
I remember him being on the bench. I definitely remember him being there thinking, is he going to come on? Is he going to come on? Let's quickly check that, mate.
As far as him going to the Euros, I think that's madness.
No. Listen.
No, he hasn't got a cap, mate.
Yeah, he must have just got picked one time then.
International career.
Definitely remember him being on the bench.
Fat Sam called him up.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he was an unused sub. There you go.
Yeah. In terms of Antonio going to the England team, listen, unless he bangs 20 goals, 15 goals, then maybe we can have a conversation about it. But as me and Paul said, I'm not the biggest of England fans, but I can appreciate there are some fantastic young players coming through.
Yeah,
Foden,
when you look
Maddison, Sancho,
if you're looking at the strikers as well, you've got the likes of Mason Greenwood coming through now as well. Yeah. Like they're the players that you want to be. Yeah, they're the players that you want to be taking, not a 30-year-old Mikel Antonio.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry. Harry Kane as well, obviously. It's a very, very hard thing to do. Where were we? That one, done it. Stay up and keep Man United out of the Champions League. Yes, please. Sweet way to finish. Amy says evening. Gary says evening. Evening, guys. Thanks for joining us. Make Rice captain and give him £100 a week. I'd do that. I would give him £100 a week. I don't think he's the sort of player where money would go to his head and change his performance. He seems like a real model professional. I was switched on.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't think money's the issue with him. I don't think throwing money at him would make him want to stay. If he wants to leave, it is going to be because of what we were saying. It's because he wants to go and join a project. He wants to go and join his childhood club. He wants to go and play with his best mate. I don't think money is going to come into it, unfortunately.
West to play. It's our cup final. Full. Yeah, we discussed it a little bit. If I was going to make a change, it would be a change, but not necessarily have to change. It was if I had to make a change, Mark would probably be the one. But I can see what you're saying, Gary, in terms of there is a place for him. Tomorrow night, he's had a long rest as well in that period. He says, give Declan Antonio £80,000 a week. Do deal, make Dex captain in its time. Not if we're not invest and progress.
Why would you give Antonio £80,000 a week and a new contract?
Well, his contract's up in it, I think.
Next year?
Yeah, I think his contract's up.
And he'll be 31, 32?
Yeah.
No. Again, I don't want to take anything away from Antonio. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing him. I don't want to take anything away from him. But we've made them mistakes in the past. Look at Winston Reid. We decided to give him a 6-year contract on Christ knows what, and he ain't played since. That's what happens if we give... And Antonio's got injury history. His hamstrings can pop at any point. Like, that would be absolute madness. I know he's come out recently and said... And the thing is as well, he's come out recently and said he wants to retire at West Ham. I don't mind at the end of next year offering him another year or two. Offer him another 2 years. But I'd be looking at reducing his contract, not bumping him on £80,000 a week.
Or you keep him on the same, don't you?
Yeah.
We may keep Rice simply because no club has the cash to play. There seems to be a lot of spin out there that Sullivan regarding Rice leaving. Must try already started onto him loads of Rice stuff. He didn't come on. Nassi Antonio, obviously, he was in the squad. What makes us one of the worst runs club in the league? Is it just the board not having a clue? And I think it's a stubbornness. A club that I feel is the closest in terms of how we're run is Newcastle. Don't want to invest, want to do it on a shoestring budget. And
even then, I don't even know.
Scared to delegate.
Yeah, that's the thing, mate. I don't think it's so much the finances because they've got no problem paying big wages. That's the problem. Is Sullivan needs
I'll
to
take
be
that back actually.
involved.
Yeah, in terms of money.
Sullivan needs to be involved in everything, and Sullivan thinks he's a football genius. He thinks he's absolute man. He knows everything. When you look at the like the foundations of the club, the training ground, the training facilities, the coaches, the scouting networks are non-existent. Our back club, setup is probably League One level, legitimately.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Seriously, it really is. When you look at the like I say, the scouting and the coaching and the training facilities, shocking. That's why we're such a poorly run club. And the fact that, like you say, mate, Sullivan can't delegate. He wants to be involved in everything. How many interviews have you heard? You had Sam coming out and saying that he'd turn up for training and there'd be this like Paraguayan
New guy,
kid just turn up and who's this guy? Oh, he's a Sully special. He's decided to drop him in the squad. That's why we're so poorly run. We need to start from the ground up. We need to get the facilities in place. We need to get all that back of the house stuff, all the stuff that's not. I think that's the thing as well. It's not fancy. If Sullivan pumps a ton of money in upgrading our training facilities and sorting out a scouting network, he can't shout out about that to the press. If he spends 45 million on a French striker, he can go and say, "Look what I did. Look what I've done." I think it's not flash enough for him, but that's what we need. We need to rebuild from the ground up. We need all that.
Whoever takes over next, when and if a takeover.
If you look at obviously, you're talking about takeovers and you're talking about like the structure of the club. If you look at Man City, obviously they had billionaire owners come in with more money than anything. They could do whatever. But when you look at what they actually did, they put the groundwork in. They upgraded the facilities, the training. They got everything ready. They got all the backroom staff ready for Guardiola to come in, so that when he came in, all the foundations was there and they could kick on. Yes, they had unlimited money to do it, but it's that kind of thing that you need. You look at the likes of Liverpool. A couple of years ago when Klopp came in.
Building for Klopp, though, they were, like
exactly.
the Brendan Rodgers style of manager, and then
exactly.
Like
they had everything ready.
Give him 5 years as well to do it.
They had everything ready so that when Klopp came in, the foundation was there, and he could build on it. That's what West Ham needs. That's what we need. And unless we get that, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah. We're not the only club as well. You can even look at Manchester United. I know they've won some stuff since Fergie's gone. No, the foundations, like you say, mate, were not laid. It wasn't like, right, we're definitely going to go for this guy. I know they went for Moyes, but like since then it's Van Gaal, Lee. It looks like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's doing a good job now, to be fair to him. It's not just us. Do you reckon we can do the double over Manchester United? I'd love it, mate. Absolutely love it. But they look like they've got their mojo back. They do. They look actually quite a good team to watch again. On a personal note, I really like Martial, and he looks fantastic again. He looks like the player they bought a few years ago. Sullivan is exactly the same as Vince McMahon at WWE. Both don't know when it's time to step down. Did you see Arsenal come out to "It's All About the Game" second half against Liverpool yesterday? No. Triple H theme, it's all about the game. You play, that's what they come out to second half. We're going to go for about another 5 minutes, guys. Newcastle takeover happens. It'll be another club guaranteed to finish above us every year. Will be hard for us to finish in the top half. I agree, mate. Not gonna. Let's not live in some fantasy world, that we're going to win the league, we're going to even get Champions League football. None of that has got any chance of happening until a takeover happens. And as Paul said very smartly, whole rebuild from the bottom happens. Got a few tiny little topics, mate, that we'll just touch on very, very quickly. Diaganna has been linked to Celtic. No, don't sell him. Apparently, the asking price for West Ham is 25 million. No, for me, he starts next year.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't know why he would want to go. Yeah, obviously, he could go to Celtic and win the league. But he's winning the league in Scotland. Anything to shout about? I don't really know. I can't see it appealing from his point of view, to be honest. And like you say, mate, yeah, but I mean, like you say, I think he'd be in
I think he
contention
starts. He starts for me.
for a starting place with us next year. So if he does go, the most likely place for him to go is West Brom if they come up.
Yeah. And a couple more things. 5 subs stays. What do you make of that, mate?
Yeah, it's understandable.
If it's the big teams again, only really.
It's understandable. I mean, not really. You know, we could make use of it if David Moyes would actually use the subs he's got. He don't make 3 subs, let alone 5.
Yeah.
I did say to you in the chat, I haven't read anything about what they've said for the Premier League, but I was watching Real Madrid the other day, and they were talking about it. The commentators were talking about it there, and they said that it's only for next season because obviously it's going to be a shorter break, and then after that it will go back to normal. And obviously you might have the clubs petitioning for it to stay. But like I said, I don't know what they've said for the Premier League, but as far as I know, it's only going to be for 1 year, and it's understandable.
I think it is 1 year, mate. I think it is.
Yeah, and it is understandable. You know, like I say, it's going to be a short break, pretty much no rest time at all between seasons. Yeah. I get the reasoning behind it.
The other thing that was confirmed as well, transfer window date will now be Monday the 27th of July, so Monday week, and closes 10 weeks later on Monday the 5th of October. So that means, like the last couple of years where it's finished on the first day of the season, there will be games being played before it closes. And my fear, this is back to the Declan Rice thing, mate. My fear is if Declan hasn't gone by then and Chelsea have a bad start defensively, look, they've conceded 6 goals in 2 games, Chelsea. It's even more on, got to go and get him.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the window opening, though, to be honest. It's always nice to have like the transfer rumours and stuff.
Zaza signing again. I'm looking forward to that. This player that we've never heard of.
Mate, Simone Zaza, he could have been decent. He could have been.
Yeah, man. Lucas Perez as well. Just get a scouting system in place before the window opens. Can't continue with that current transfer policy. Totally changed. As things stands, Diaganna would shoot in to start on the left, 100%. Fantastic skill. If you didn't see what he did the weekend, absolutely. That is a grown man you've nutmegged there, Brady. They just destroyed him. Couple more questions here. What do you think of season ticket lottery? Does this mean if you get the money for the games, you don't attend? Confusing. I can't say I've read too much about it, but it seems like you pay like a sort of holding fee to go into a lottery thing to get picked for the game. God knows if you get your money back. Surely, no? Do you think you pay for the right to be held? I don't know. I don't want to say something that's not right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't say that I've read anything about it at all, to be honest. So I don't know. But you would assume it wouldn't surprise me with this club if they said, "Oh yeah, if you don't get to go to the game, you get something like 80% back." But I like same as yourself, mate. I wouldn't like to say because I haven't really read into it.
Yeah. A couple more things here. So 25 million for Diaganna is beyond Celtic's reach. Their record signing to date is 9 million. Well, there you go. Build your team around Grady, Bowen, Soucek, Rice. We could have a seriously good 11. Yeah, and they're hungry as well. Do you know what the thing about those 4 names just there? Hungry. Apparently Leicester are 1-0 up. I've got one for you, mate, just to end on. You think it's Mark Noble's last season next year? Farewell. Like, you think he will retire next year?
Yeah. I think so, mate. Is that the last year of his contract?
Potentially an option.
Yeah, I think so. Again, you know, Mark, the interviews that he was doing before the break, he knows that he can't play at this level anymore. You know,
I think he would make a really good championship player, mate, and that was proved weekend. I don't know if he wants to leave. I don't know if he wants to retire at West Ham. I don't know.
I'd be amazed if he leaves West Ham. I'd be amazed. Yeah. I think that he'll call it a day, and I would really hope that West Ham move him into the coaching team, give him a role, you know, behind the scenes. I wouldn't want to see him moved out of the club. No. I would like to see him kept in the club. And apparently he's brilliant around the youth players and all the rest of it. So I'd like to see him moved maybe to the coaching side of things for the youth teams. But Mark knows that he's not at this level anymore. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he just said, right, yeah, that's it. I'll call it a day.
Thomas Logren says, "Are you worried that Doc isn't the player we thought he was?" Yeah, he's definitely gone a little bit backwards.
Still very young,
very young, and keep repeating myself nearly every week. The Roberto thing, Roberto in goal. It's going to. Van Dijk could have been in front of Roberto, and you would be saying, okay, Van Dijk's defence is conceding 3-4 goals a game. Does that make Van Dijk a bad player? No, it would be the fact that Roberto is making him very nervous on the ball. Very,
I mean, what's Diop? 23?
Yeah, I think
That's
so. Yeah,
nothing. That's nothing for a centre back. Nothing.
No.
Still very, very young. I think obviously he came in and he had such a good start, and that put expectations way up in the air. He's like I say, he's very young for a centre back. Give the lad time. And I'm sure he'll come good. He's obviously got the basics there. I think my biggest problem with him is that he's 6'4". He can't win an header.
It's a bit angly, isn't he? In the air. I don't know. I can't. Jumps like a fish. I don't know.
He's quite lanky, isn't he? He's not a big, solid centre back. He's built like Rio. He's built quite like Rio. But he's a young lad. Give him time, and I'm sure he'll come good.
Yeah. I think we're ending there. I've got some exciting news, guys. So some of you might be wondering, like, oh, why is Luke scheduled episode 117 already on YouTube? The reason being is because I've got some great news, guys. This man, the Chris Akabusi, will be joining us on Tuesday, 6:30. I'm really, really excited, to finally get, a celebrity, really, a celebrity guest on the show, mate. You excited about that?
Yeah, of course. No, it'd be great. It'd be great to have him on. Great to
West Ham fan.
Yeah,
West Ham fan. Massive West Ham fan. He's very vocal on your TalkSport. And you know what I like about him as well? Don't beat about the bush either. He will say about the ball. He will say about this. So if you've got any questions for Chris, obviously we can't get all of them in. And obviously we're going to have a look through, see if you repeat yourself and stuff. But yeah, if you've got any questions for Chris, drop them in the comments for this video. Not the live chat now. Drop them in the comments so I can screenshot them on my phone and send them to Chris. Anything I will ask you guys on the day, the chat, just be respectful. There's no need for nasty comments and nasty trolls. And if there are any trolls on Tuesday, please, as a fan base, let's dig it out and not have it, guys. It's not what it's about, Troll us. Do you know what I mean? This is a good guy. I'm really looking forward to having him on. I think he's going to be fantastic for our show. You never know, it might boost us up to 3,000 as well. There's 3 more things here, mate. Just before we go. Doc looks better than I want to play. He's 100% club captain for the next 2 years. And thanks for that.
Thanks a lot, lads.
Yeah. So, is it, guys? Thank you so much. What am I doing here? Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Join us on Tuesday at 6:30 when we build up for the Manchester United game and we'll talk about the Watford game. I'll probably do a show the weekend anyway to just remind you guys and go through the Watford game a little bit. Until then, on your eyes, keep believing. Get your questions in for Chris Akabusi. Hit the like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Let's go.
Cheers.